Our next inductee was honestly one of my first memories of watching pro wrestling as a kid. It was Gary Michael Capetta. It's a great night for ring announcers. So Gary, so much more than a ring announcer. I'm really happy to be up here. I'm actually shaking a little bit. So here to induct Gary into the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, would you please welcome the Hurricane, John Walters.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Trying to keep this concise, but I also want to give Gary the credit he deserves, not just for what he's done for me or his contributions to the wrestling business, but how he's helped so many other guys here in New England. I'll try to touch upon that a little bit with keeping it as short as I can. When Gary sent me an email and asked me if I would induct him into the Hall of Fame, there was no hesitation. But I meant to check the price of flights first. But all jokes aside, there was no hesitation. I'm not saying this because it's the right thing to say, but I think he probably was the most influential person in my career. And you ask yourself, how could a ring announcer be so influential to a wrestler's career? And if you think about it, pro wrestlers, when they're done with their matches, yeah, some of them want to learn, they want to study, they peek through the curtain, they look at the monitor, and they may continue to watch the matches, but whether they like it or not, ring announcers are right there stuck, and they have to watch the matches. So Gary liked it, and he retained that knowledge, and he's a purist. He likes pure wrestling. He likes the art, and his goal was to give back to the business. And no matter how much he helped, he never wanted to thank you. The only thing he ever asked was to give back to the next person. And I took that to heart, and I tried to pay it forward, going to different wrestling schools and trying to help the new batch of guys, because people can progress with talent, but when they have advice from people who have done it, that's usually the most valuable help they can get. And because of Gary, not only am I a better wrestler, but I'm a better human being as well. I met Gary in the early 2000s after he had written his book, Body Slams, and for anybody here who hasn't read that book, I honestly think it's probably the best wrestling book I've read. Gary writes very eloquently, very brutally honest, and you can tell in his writings he was not hoping for one last run. He let it all out there while still respecting the people that he's worked with. Talked about road stories with The Undertaker, road stories with Ric Flair. I mean, Gary's been in all the great moments in pro wrestling history. The night Mick Foley lost his ear, the night Ron Simmons body slammed Vader and won the WCW Heavyweight Championship was one of my favorite moments. He's seen it all, and he's never hesitated to help anybody. So when he was on his book tour, he came to the Chaotic Wrestling School at the time when I was a student, and gave a speech, sold his books, and I helped Gary take some of his books back to his van. It's kind of weird, it was the van in the back of the wrestling school, kind of like how a Dateline episode would start, but Gary picked my brain a little bit, asked me how long I'd been training for, and asked where I would be next. And coincidentally enough, he was going to be at a show that I was on 2 nights later in Wakefield, Massachusetts, for MWF. And that's when I wrestled Demon Ortiz. Same night, Lewis met his wife. That's irrelevant though. Gary was impressed with my work, and it was an honor for him to ask me to send him more tapes of my work. And from there, he contacted Ring of Honor, put in a word for me, and within a week I got a call from Ring of Honor, which led to me getting a contract with Ring of Honor, which led to more WWE dark matches, TV matches, more independent exposure, and ultimately, I think that made me get my contract with Lucha Libre USA, because everybody in wrestling knows that it's a domino effect. Once there's a little piece of publicity, the rest kind of follows. And like I said before, Gary's made me a better human being. He's had me at his dinner table. He's had me at his school where he's taught Spanish. And those are moments that are far more important than pro wrestling. What we accomplished here was great. But I always say we're going to be dead a lot longer than we were alive. And I don't think we're going to be judged on how good of a performer we were, ring announcer, referee, actor, athlete. We're going to be remembered on how we gave back, how we donated, whether it's money or time, and we're going to be remembered for the good that we did. And for that reason, wrestling and non-wrestling, Gary's a Hall of Famer. So it's my honor to induct into the 2019 Hall of Fame, New England Class of 2019, the world's most dangerous ring announcer, Gary Mike Capet.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Bruen. Thank you. This is an incredible event. Congratulations to all of the inductees who we're honoring tonight. And thank you, JW, for the intro. I appreciate it. I started coming to work in New England in the 80s. The Ciboldi family would bring me up and I would bring announce for them here and there. And then in the 90s, I was back up with WCW. And then Ring of Honor in the 2000s. And it always struck me when I would come to New England, what a tight group of fans and wrestlers you have here. And as I'm sitting here tonight and I'm listening to all of the stories, it's apparent to me that you guys in the New England wrestling community have something really, really special. And, you know, it's great to hear everybody tease each other and have memories, but understand that that's special. That's not happening in many parts of this country. I've always noticed that. And I also have, when I do my stage show, I talk about the importance of independent wrestling. Independent wrestling is where the stars of tomorrow are introduced. It's where folks get their training in front of the first audience. But understand that it doesn't matter that it's an independent show or if it's a WWE show. There are kids in that audience that you folks affect. You make them angry, right? Or they look up to you. You are their heroes. You don't know what experience that kid has had, what kind of family life he has, what his school experiences are. He comes to a wrestling match and he is affected by you. You have that responsibility. By and far, you guys live up to that responsibility. But always remember, when you're in the ring, remember how it was when you sat in the cheap seats. Remember what you noticed. Remember what you reacted to. Never, ever forget those feelings that are engendered by watching a good wrestling match. So I just want to congratulate all of you, wrestlers, announcers, managers, fans. It's special. New England is special, and that's especially why I'm truly honored to be inducted into this year's Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.